Welcome to 10 Minutes of Wealth, the show that makes you smarter about money. Let's get into it. Episode 13, Your Money or Your Life, by Vicki and Joe Dominguez. What if the way you use money is shaping your life more than you think? In Your Money or Your Life, Vicki and Joe Dominguez discuss how money connects to time, energy, and meaning. The book challenges the idea that more spending equals a better life and invites you to think differently about what enough really means. Vicki is a writer and speaker on conscious living, and Joe was a financial analyst focused on financial independence. Together, they built a values-based framework that has influenced millions. In this episode, we explore the core message of the book and how it can help you live with more intention around your money. The core idea. Your money or your life is built around one clear idea. Money represents your life energy. Every dollar you earn reflects time, effort, and attention you will never get back. Vicki and Joe invite you to see money as a direct expression of how you live. By tracking income and spending, you can ask whether your money truly supports your values. As they write, money is something you trade your life for. Before we dive into the lessons, ask yourself, are you choosing how your life energy is used, or letting habit decide? Key lesson number 1. Money is life energy. Money feels abstract for most people. Numbers on a screen, balances, statements. Vicki and Joe flip that view. They ask you to see every dollar as life energy, hours of work, focus, and effort. When you spend money, you're spending pieces of your life. That simple shift changes everything. It makes choices visible, not theoretical. In daily life too. Once money equals life energy, questions follow naturally. Is this purchase worth my time? Would I trade another work day for this? Vicki and Joe encourage tracking spending to answer those questions honestly. Not to feel guilty, but to see patterns. Awareness replaces autopilot, and clarity creates calm instead of constant pressure. That calm changes behavior over time in subtle ways. This lesson is not about spending less for the sake of it. It is about spending consciously. When money reflects life energy, values matter. You start aligning choices with what actually matters to you. Over time, that alignment brings freedom, not through deprivation, but through intention. And that shift feels surprisingly light, even when habits change slowly, especially at first. Key lesson number 2. Awareness is more powerful than willpower. Many people think financial change requires discipline, more control, more saying no. Vicki and Joe disagree. They argue that lasting change starts with awareness, not willpower. When you clearly see what is happening, your behavior begins to shift naturally. One of their key practices is tracking every dollar. Not to restrict yourself, but to understand yourself. When you write down what you earn and what you spend, patterns appear. You may notice how often money flows to things that do not really add value, or how little it takes to support what truly matters. That clarity is powerful. They also suggest evaluating expenses by asking whether they bring real fulfillment. Not pleasure in the moment, but lasting satisfaction. As they put it, you're trading your life for these choices. Awareness turns spending into a conscious decision instead of a reflex. What surprises many people is this. Once awareness is in place, you do not need constant self-control. You stop forcing yourself to change. You start wanting to change. And that makes all the difference. Key lesson number 3. Enough is a meaningful goal. Most people are taught to aim for more income, more savings, more security. Vicki and Joe challenge that direction. They suggest that the real goal is not endless growth, but enough. Enough money to support the life you want, without constantly trading more of your time for it. For Vicki and Joe, financial independence means your investments can cover your basic living expenses. But the deeper lesson goes beyond numbers. It is about freedom from fear and obligation, freedom to say no, freedom to choose work for meaning, not survival. The book reframes financial independence as alignment. When your spending matches your values, your need for money naturally decreases. You begin to see that happiness does not rise in proportion to income. What matters more is having control over your time and choices. This lesson shifts the question from how much can I earn to how much is truly enough. And once you answer that honestly, money stops being the driver of your life. It becomes a tool you use with intention. 3 questions to reflect on. Let's pause for a moment and think about how Vicki and Joe's insights apply to you. 1. Where does your money feel aligned with your values, and where does it not? 2. Do you clearly see where your money goes each month, or are you mostly guessing? And 3. What would enough look like for you, not in theory, but in your real, everyday life? You do not need perfect answers, just honest ones. If you like, pause this episode for a moment, think them through, or carry them with you as you go about your day. Putting it into practice. Let's look at how you can apply the ideas from this book in your daily life. First, start tracking your income and expenses for 1 month. Not to judge yourself, but to see clearly where your money actually goes. Second, translate money into time. Ask yourself how many hours of life energy each expense really costs you. Third, reflect on alignment. Look at your spending and notice which expenses truly support your values and which ones do not. Fourth, experiment with enough. Choose one area of spending and gently reduce it, not as a sacrifice, but as a test of what actually matters. And finally, check in regularly. Revisit your numbers, your feelings, and your priorities. Small moments of awareness, repeated over time, create lasting change. Final thoughts. Your money or your life reminds us that money is never just about money. It is about time, energy, and the choices that shape your daily life. Vicki and Joe's message is quietly empowering. You do not need to earn more or optimize everything. You only need to pay attention and let awareness guide your choices. Over time, that shift changes how you work, spend, and live. Just remember, financial freedom does not start with more, and maybe a richer life begins the moment you decide what enough truly means. Thank you for listening. You just got smarter about money in under 10 minutes. If this episode was valuable to you, you can support us by buying a virtual coffee via the link in the description. Don't forget to subscribe, and I'll catch you in the next one.